And we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another hard-hitting episode of the Callous Mind Talking Head Sportscast. This week we are reviewing Week 14 of the 2024 National Football League season, and I am sharing with you my pick results. So, I also want to talk about a couple of other things. So, I'm going to start this episode by congratulating the Arizona State Sun Devils on their first Big 12 championship. That is great. This is a great accomplishment, and I couldn't be happier for them and the program, the school itself. Hopefully, this means that there are big things to come. I also want to say that even if you're not going to make the playoffs, you can still impact who might get in the playoffs. And no place is this more evident than college football. It turns out that the Oklahoma Sooners' defeat of the Alabama Crimson Tide had a direct impact on Alabama's chances of making the 12-team playoff. Now, I personally think that SMU should have been left out since they lost their ACC championship game. I'm sure other people may argue that that's not the case, but that's just my own personal opinion. I feel like Alabama is a better team than SMU, but then again, when you take care of business during the regular season, then you don't have to worry so much about, being cast into the playoff there at the end because you took care of what you could control. So, without further ado, let's jump into the Week 14 review here. Alright. So the Week 14 schedule started on Thursday, December 5th with the Lions and Packers. And the Lions held off a gritty performance by the Packers. And the Lions did get that all-important win. Sunday's game started with the Jaguars and Titans, and look at that, Jacksonville jumped up and bit them right in the keister. So both those teams now sit at 3-10. In an AFC East battle, the Dolphins get a big win against the New York Jets. The Vikings get a big win against the Dirty Birds of Atlanta. The Saints get a win on the road in New York. The Philadelphia Eagles hold off the Carolina Panthers. The Steelers beat the Cleveland Browns. The Buccaneers win the Pirate Bowl against the Raiders. And the Cardinals. This is where I really want to start highlighting these things. The Cardinals lost to the Seahawks and lost their third game in a row. And subsequently, they have blown their opportunity to make the playoffs. Now, they're not the only team in Week 14 that blew something. Haha, no pun intended. But I got this little clip from Family Guy that I want to play because this kind of applies to the Cardinals post-Week 14.
Knock, knock. Who's there? You blew it.
You blew it who?
You blew it bad. You know what the last page in the book is? A mirror, so you can see exactly who blew it, being you.
So there you go. The Cardinals blew it. They had everything in front of them going into Week 12 of the season. They lost to the Seahawks. They could have still salvaged things in Week 13. They lost to the Minnesota Vikings. And they could have even further salvaged things even in Week 14. But they did not, and they lose again to the Seattle Seahawks. And with that loss, so goes what I believe to be the Arizona Cardinals' opportunity at the playoffs. So I don't want to hear anybody saying things like, oh, well, this could still happen, and what if, and maybe. Listen, if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. And the reality is that I'm not sure the Cardinals deserve to make the playoffs, so I'm just going to go ahead and write them off after Week 14. Period. Full stop. The next game was the Bills and Rams, and the Rams get a big win against the Bills, and subsequently The Bills probably blow their opportunity to possibly catch the Chiefs for that number one seed in the AFC, which, the Bills are still the ones that have put a loss on the Chiefs, but the road running through Buffalo would have been much more comfortable for the Bills than the road running through Kansas City, because I feel like we've seen this script before. But anyway, that's what happened, and the Rams get a big win to try to keep pace in the NFC West. The next game was the Bears and 49ers, and wouldn't you know it, Adam, I picked the Bears this week because I figured the 49ers were too hurt, and what do the 49ers do? They get a big win. So kudos to the Niners. And Sunday night, the Chiefs win another squeaker against the Chargers, and so the Cardiac Chiefs continue their reign. But I just don't know. I mean, if you're a Chiefs fan, are you super comfortable with all these close games? You feel like they've always got it in the bag, or what? Because I start to be getting a little nervous after a while. And then on Monday Night Football, the Bengals outlast the Cowboys in Dallas to get that all. Not a super important win, but it's good for morale anyway, right? So the Bengals go on the road and get a win against them boys. And I was 8 wins and 5 losses in my Week 14 picks. 8 wins, 5 losses. Not bad, not the greatest thing ever. Alright, give me just a minute here. I want to talk about this Juan Soto contract while I'm on here. So, 15 years, $765 million. Apparently, this eclipses the money that Ohtani got last offseason. The thing about Ohtani, though, is he's a pitcher as well, and he just went 50-50. And I'm not sure that Juan Soto is worth this money. That's just my own personal opinion. I'm not sure any athlete is worth this kind of money, especially if you are not going to win a title. And let's face it, the Mets don't have a good history of winning the World Series. I believe the last time they won was, in '86 against the Red Sox. So my question to you is, if you're a Mets fan, do you feel good about this? Do you feel like this is what you need that's going to push you over the top? One of my concerns about it is obviously the length, the dollars. But the other thing is Juan Soto going to have the protection in the New York Mets lineup that he had in the Yankees lineup? That would be probably my biggest concern. He probably in part excelled in the Yankees lineup because of the protection he had with Aaron Judge being present in the lineup close to him, right? So that always benefits. So hopefully, they have somebody there who can help protect him in the lineup and maximize his production. But then the other thing about these big contracts is, if you get this money and it's guaranteed, are you going to maintain your high level of motivation to work hard and earn that money? Or do you feel like you've already earned 15 years of that money once you sign the contract? I don't know, man. That's why it's always a little dangerous, because I know these guys always turn out big numbers in contract years and stuff like that. And then when the rubber meets the road for the length of the contract, some of them flop, and some of them don't seem to keep themselves in great shape. They don't seem to care anymore. Maybe they lose interest because they feel like they've accomplished everything they set out to accomplish. But I think Soto, this is just my prediction, I think he would have been better off numbers-wise and World Series potential-wise to stay with the New York Yankees. But that's my opinion. And the other thing is, maybe he wanted to go to the Mets where he'd feel like he would be the man and that he would get the credit if they win the World Series. So only time will tell, but that's kind of my feeling on it, and you guys can let me know yours in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. I'm looking out here to see if there's any chat, and it doesn't look like there is any right now, and that's fine. So I hope all of you have a great rest of your week. I'll see you again on Thursday for another live stream later on this week when I make, what is it, the week 15 predictions. So until then, please, please, please be good to yourselves and each other, and I will talk to you all again on Thursday. God bless.